The Cambodian Railroad has been in a state of disrepair since the Khmer Rouge ran the country from 1975 to 1979. During this time, civilians usually weren't allowed to use the trains, and afterward the trains became the site of intense firefights, banditry, and sometimes land mining. It was sometime in this period, around the end of the reign of the Khmer Rouge and in the early 1980s, that the noris first started being used in Cambodia. The nori itself is made out of three main parts. There's a platform that looks a lot like a queen-size bed, and it's made out of bamboo strips and pieces of wood, sometimes 2x4s on the heavier noris. Then there are two sets of metal wheels. Those are often from old tanks or industrial parts, and they're welded into sets of two. And the third part is a motor of some kind, often from a rice harvester, sometimes from a motorbike. The two main uses that you see for noris are transporting people and goods, and the goods can usually be broken up into smaller household things, vegetables, small supplies, and then lumber. The noris that carry lumber tend to be built a little stronger, and they can be piled really high, over a human's head. And these are the noris that really go long distances on the track. When people ride the noris for transportation, though, they usually go pretty short distances, and that can be anywhere from 5 miles up to a max of about 30. When I asked people who were riding the nori why they were using it, most of them referred to the fact that it was really cheap. So a typical ride may be about 50 cents versus $5 to $10 if you were to take another form of transportation. While the nori is a really useful form of transportation for moving people or goods, it's also pretty uncomfortable. It's actually a lot louder than one would expect. The motor makes a lot of noise, it's unshielded, and it's about ear level. And because you're sitting only about 6 to 12 inches off the track, which is in terrible condition, and the nori is speeding over it sometimes up to around 30 miles an hour, there's a terrible clack clack, clack clack, and a jolt to riding on the nori. One of the interesting things about riding the nori is watching the etiquette of the drivers. Because there's only one set of track, there are a lot of instances where there are two noris coming directly towards each other, and obviously someone would have to stop. As the two noris approached one another, they would slow down, and whichever nori was lighter or easier to take apart, that would be the one that would be taken off the track, with the help of the other nori driver. This nori would then be reassembled on the track, past the other nori, and they'd each continue on their way.